That is Cesare, Onestini from the European Training Foundation, and also Dejene from UNIDO, who are joining us to give welcome of the closing remarks. Cesare, if you kick off on the partnership with UNIDO and the ETF, and what the main driving force in setting up this partnership at this point in time was.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be able to talk to you. I hope the connection works well. I hope we'll see Dejene soon. From the European Training Foundation, it is a pleasure to be partnering with UNIDO, because for us, as an agency of the European Union, we have been working for the past 25 years on promoting education and training reforms in countries outside of the European Union. This has been our bread and butter for 25 years, and the focus has been very much on education and training systems, on skills and qualifications, but we see that now that focus is shifting and the needs are broadening, and there is a growing focus on the questions of employability, but in a sustainable, green and digital agenda for all our policy partners. It is in this sense that we need to bring together the work we have been doing on skills promotions, competence promotions, with the needs of the economy and the needs of promoting sustainability. And in that context, for us, there is the need to partner with private sector providers, private sector actors, the ones that we're just talking with you, and the ones we have been hearing throughout this exciting conversation today. So for us, the partnership with UNIDO really brings out three main things. One is that we have a shared purpose to promote this competitiveness in a green and social fairness inclusion approach. Then we have this focus on enterprise development, and we want to focus on best practice and what we can learn.
Cesare, can I just stop you there?
Yep.
It seems that we have Dejene who is there with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Cesare is just starting off now, unpacking the partnership between the two of you, and perhaps maybe you wanna add in more on that partnership, and also talk to us about next steps. Where are you from?
Yeah, thank you. I think, as you all know, the need to develop skills, knowledge, and competencies to support employability to young people and success and growth to enterprises is very much understood globally. Securing these skills and knowledge requires sustained collaborative effort from a range of different partners. Here in UNIDO, we facilitate open dialogue between industry leaders, local governments, to close the skills mismatch and create a better and sustainable jobs in mostly in developing countries and emerging economies. On the other hand, ETF has a very strong leadership and experience supporting countries, especially in the European Union and its proximity, mainly on the agenda of educational reform, training, and employment policies. So the strategic alliance between these two organizations for knowledge creation, consolidation, and dissemination in the area of skills development across developing countries will be very, very important. And the impact of our joint efforts will be much, much better than each one of us doing it our own way and doing it alone. In my opinion, this is a main drive of our partnership. So UNIDO and ETF already collaborated in the past. However, the current situation of the pandemic has made us rethink the services we both provide, and we agreed to invest in a solid partnership based on respective strengths of these two organizations, and also to create synergies between the different initiatives and programs of our two organizations.
Understood. Understood. And as you say, I mean, it is about collaboration, which has been the main message from most of the speakers today. Cesare, for governments, perhaps, and other institutions wanting to work with you and collaborate with you in current path, what is your message to them about how they can do that?
Well, the message for us is that we need to focus on solutions that work. And that is the main approach that we take. But solutions that work need to be looked at in terms of evidence. We need to understand them. We need to see why certain things work in certain contexts. And I think what Dejene was saying now on the focus and the needs of transition and developing countries is key here, because some of the recipes that we hear for reforms that work in some parts of the world really do not apply to others. We need to understand what is good and take it there. We need to focus on the next generation. I think that's the message that we are all sharing and that many people echoed today as well. We need to make sure that there is this connection between what public authorities bring and the private providers. The COVID threat has brought up some of these good cooperative frameworks. We need to build on them and we need to expand them. And we have also seen that private sector is taking a lot of good initiatives. But obviously, if you're a big company, you can do a lot in-house. You might think you can, you don't need to rely too much on the outside. But then the vast majority of workers are in smaller companies where we need to bring this know-how, this expertise that bigger companies, that private public sector and governments develop, and bring it together with social dialogue whenever that's applicable. So I think that's very important in terms of how we implement these reforms and how we learn from the best experiences, and many of them have been heard of today.
Certainly, and to us off then with that point that Cesare has pointed out, to say that we do need to focus on the next generation. Although we also heard earlier on today that it's not only the next generation, we are even looking at the current and existing generation that also needs upskilling and reskilling. But for the young people who are particularly in developing countries, who are in need of jobs, and sustainable jobs, what would your message be to them about finding the right educational path?
I agree, I think, with my colleague, what he said, that we need a multi-stakeholder partnership to deliver adequate training and equip our young people with necessary skills. As we all know, the public schools are usually underfunded and understaffed and have a difficulty to respond or to provide the skills which is required by the private sector. This means that private sectors have to support governments to make the schools more demand-driven. So we in UNIDO play a very important role, which is being a neutral broker role to bring all stakeholders together and create a platform for partnership in the form of PPDP. So this LKDF and LKDF for industry are some of the initiatives and examples where we bring all people together to share knowledge and experience. But at the same time, we encourage always and support the governments, young people and industry leaders to invest their resources and time in skilling, upskilling, and reskilling. This is a continuous process, and that is there is a need when there is a gap between the skills, the demand, and the supply. There is a continuous need for training and retraining for better jobs and for sustainable jobs.
Agreed. Gentlemen, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for putting together and being part of the organization of such a fantastic event. I've certainly enjoyed my first day, and I hope that everyone has too. by the level of engagement that we have had on the chat. I think that a whole lot of learning and information sharing did take place. But we have come to the end of day one of the LKDF forum for this year. I'd like to give a special thank you to all the speakers that really participated and shared their comments and insights with us, and all the dignitaries also that weighed in on the very important topic that is of discussion at this point, being green skills for a sustainable future. I am looking forward to day 2, which will be happening tomorrow, same time, same place, from your virtual venues and of course mine. And I look forward to picking up on the element of young people and youth and the role that they can play in transitioning towards a greener economy. It's a fantastic lineup of young speakers that we do have in store for you. Who will also be giving or making pitches rather on the projects that they are working with, which of course the private sector can take a look and assess the potential dividend gains that can accrue to them as a result of that participation. We'll also be having a fantastic conversation, really looking at, how better we can achieve the SDGs, particularly regarding the development of human capital and skills. We've got less than 10 years to do so, and I really look forward to once again learning from all of you and sharing with all of you all the insights and the information from the various speakers that we have got up from all over the world. But for now, thanks once again for your participation. I will see you guys again tomorrow. It has been a great pleasure being with you, and I look forward to tomorrow's session. It's bye for now from me here in Johannesburg, South Africa.